Hi, I'm Chris Wardlaw for CarGurus, and this is the new UX, the least expensive Lexus you can buy. It's tiny, effectively replacing the old Lexus CT Hybrid. But where the CT was a 5-door hatchback, a car, the new UX is a 5-door crossover SUV. You can tell from all that gray cladding all around the edges. That makes it cool, you see, or dope, or whatever. I get it though. If you're watching this review, you're probably younger than me, without any kids, maybe living in an urban area where parking is hard to find. A stylish little SUV like this is appealing. And the fact that it's a Lexus starting at $32,000 makes it more so. I'll try to keep those things in mind as we go for a drive and talk about the new UX. The Lexus UX is based on the same platform as the Toyota CHR, but with this layer of sophistication that goes translucent when you look too long and too hard at too many of the interior materials. It competes against other entry luxury crossover SUVs, none of which I'd recommend to anybody I care about, except for the Audi Q3 for its driving dynamics, and the BMW X1 because it's got a big enough interior to actually be useful. You can choose between the UX 200, which shares its front-wheel drive powertrain with the CHR, or the UX 250H, which has a hybrid powertrain that effectively makes this an all-wheel drive vehicle. Trim levels include Standard, Luxury, and F Sport, and while the prices kick off at $33,025, including a $1,025 destination charge, you can crank the equipment dial high enough to crest the $43,000 mark, and that's before adding any dealer extras. I'm driving a UX 250H in standard specification. Options include a premium package with heated and ventilated front seats, a power sunroof, and rain-sensing wipers that have really come in handy this week in Southern California because we're getting a lot of rain. Additional upgrades include a navigation system with a 10.3-inch split-screen display, a blind spot monitoring system, floor mats, and a cargo mat, bringing the total of my test vehicle to more than $39,000. You know what else you could get with that money? How about a loaded Kia Niro with enough cash left over for a nice trip to Hawaii? And I'm not talking about one of those sketchy Airbnbs in North Kihei. You could actually do one of the Wailea resorts for a week or more. Or how about a 1-year-old certified used Mercedes GLA-300 with 12,000 miles on it? Seriously, there's one available right now in the city where I live, and it's thousands of dollars less than this Lexus. I just don't get it. And I'm not just picking on the Lexus UX. None of these entry-level luxury SUVs makes any sense to me, just like tiny subcompact cars don't make any sense to me. You get so much value for your money if you just go a year or two older, or when it comes to luxury vehicles, if you just skip the luxury brand and get a loaded mainstream model. At least the Lexus looks good from certain angles, especially the back. Up front, well, it looks like a Lexus. And while that grille pattern is slick, try drying it after you've scrubbed all the bug guts off of it. No fun. Inside, the UX looks upscale if you glance at things and don't touch them. I mean, my test vehicle has all of 1,700 miles on it, and look at how scuffed up the plastic door sill and lower door panel trim is. And listen to how the center console storage lid squeaks when you open it. That's not leather on the seats, by the way. You can't get leather in a Lexus UX. Instead, you get something called SoTex, a synthetic leather-like upholstery that is indeed soft. On hot days, though, it tends to trap sweat, which is why it's a good thing ventilated front seats are an option. Front seat space is snug, but comfort is good for this size vehicle. The front passenger gets a power height adjuster, which is to be expected at this price point. Rear seat passengers benefit from air conditioning vents and USB charging ports. But my 10-year-old let out a moan of disgust when I picked her up from school in this thing, so I can't imagine that your all grown-up friends are going to want to ride back there. Plus, this alleged SUV doesn't have dark-tinted rear glass, and there's no cargo cover for the 17.1 cubic foot trunk. So whatever you're able to fit inside of it, and it won't be much, will be fully exposed to prying eyes. Lexus takes plenty of heat for its trackpad infotainment system interface, and that's for good reason. It doesn't work with the necessary accuracy to make it better or more intuitive than knobs, buttons, or a touchscreen display. This lack of precision, combined with the complexity of the system's menus, means that it takes me forever to find what I want to do and then do it. And you know how easy we old people get frustrated by technology. I will say though that I like this innovative pod at the end of the center armrest, which provides manual tuning and volume control, as well as the ability to switch between different media types. It, combined with steering wheel controls, separate climate controls, and the split screen infotainment view, limit interaction with the trackpad. In turn, this limited interaction makes me wonder why it's taking up precious center console real estate in the first place. I mean, it'd be better dedicated to storage or something. Moving on, Lexus wisely makes lots of voice skill, smartphone, smartwatch, and smartphone app services standard or available on the new UX. Plus, if you have an iPhone, you'll appreciate the Apple CarPlay integration. Android Auto is still missing from Lexus models, unfortunately. A whole bunch of driver assistant collision avoidance tech is standard too, and you get a 10-year subscription to Safety Connect service, which includes roadside assistance and automatic collision notification, among other features. In fact, that's one of the more compelling reasons to get a Lexus UX. Well, that and this little SUV's decent driving dynamics. The UX is built on the latest Toyota Global architecture, which means it is specifically engineered to improve ride and handling. Add hybrid drivetrain components that further lower the center of gravity while adding the instant torque of an electric assist motor, and it actually feels zippy in the urban environments it is designed to roam. On freeways, the UX is reasonably quiet and has no trouble getting up to speed and cruising at 75 miles per hour. On local mountain and canyon roads, the tires give up before any other components, limiting velocity. In the spots that were still wet and muddy from rainstorms, though, the all-wheel drive provided extra sure-footedness. I tried sport mode, and it does liven things up, but it also adds an unnatural amount of weight to the electric steering. So I just left the UX in normal mode the majority of the time. And while the regenerative braking system is more refined than some, it still felt grabby from time to time. Generally, nothing about driving the UX causes significant irritation. Not even its continuously variable transmission, unless you try manually shifting it, of course. At the same time, nothing about driving this Lexus is rewarding either. Together, the 2-liter 4-cylinder gasoline engine and electric motor make a combined 181 horsepower, and Lexus quotes an 8.6 second 0 to 60 time, as well as a top speed of just 110 miles per hour. More than anything else, fuel economy is what fell short of expectations. I got 33.8 miles per gallon on my test loop, a far cry from the expected 39 miles per gallon in combined driving. But there were mountains, and I didn't use eco mode very much, so maybe that's why. Lexus launched when I was 22 years old. Back then, the company was all about the relentless pursuit of perfection. Clearly, those days are over. Now Lexus wants you to experience amazing. It says so right there on the license plate frame. I'm not amazed by the UX. Bewildered maybe, but not amazed. Do yourselves a favor, young people of America. Put your money into an IRA now so that later, when you're my age, you can buy a real luxury car. Be sure to read my full review of the Lexus UX at CarGurus, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For all of us here at CarGurus, thank you very much for watching.